Krista Gibson here with Growing Older and Wiser. Today I don't really have a suggestion for you so much as I have some questions or a question to pose, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit as far as kind of what's true for me or what's going on for me around it. And then you can either through the comments or just in your own mind see how this sits with you and whether it really impacts your life or not. What I want to talk about is the idea of having a schedule. Now, if you still work a regular job outside the home, you have a schedule. You have to be at work at a certain time and probably get lunch at a certain time, get off at a certain time, so on and so forth. For many of us, however, we've kind of been living by our own schedules for a long time, especially if you've had your own business like I've had for many, many years. And then I'm semi-retired. I'm not really retired because I'm still doing newsletters and mentoring and that sort of thing, but I'm semi-retired in that I don't do a publication anymore. And what I'm finding is how difficult it is for me to let go of having a schedule. When I first, we all have deadlines as we grow up, whether it's, in school that a term paper is due or a test is coming up or whatever. Then we move on to our jobs where the boss wants something at a certain time and so forth. But it wasn't until I got into the publishing business with my first job as the editor of the Ocean Star, a little monthly newspaper at Point Roberts, Washington, that I learned about deadlines. Because when you're in publishing in the old days, where there were actual print newspapers or magazines, but in my case a newspaper, it had to be at the print shop on a certain day. And if you missed your date, it was bypassed, and boy, were you ever in trouble because your newspaper may not come out for a week later. And so early on, the boss I had at the time, he drilled into me, here's the day when your ads have to be in. Here's the day when your articles must be in. Here is the date where you have to have proved the paper and approved it. And this is the day it will print no matter what. And so I got into that groove. And then I did that for 35 years with the different publications I've done, the different books I've done. Anything like that, you are put on a very strict schedule. And so that got into my bones. And, I think that then leaked over into other parts of my life where I kind of, it's like even when I get up, I automatically wake up. Used to be 5:30, now it's 4:30. And some days I'll say, okay, I'm going to sleep in tomorrow. Won't that be fun? I'll sleep in. 4:30, bing, wide open my eyes, and I get up because I've tried going back to bed, can't go back to sleep. There's certain times of the day I'm hungry and I can talk myself out of it, but my body says, no, you have to feed me. This is when I want you to feed me. And so, I find myself, there's a certain time of day. I show up at my desk. Even if I don't have anything scheduled, I still have to check my email. Maybe I have an article to write or whatever. But there's absolutely nobody telling me that I have to be at my desk checking email or doing whatever at a certain time. And I am having the most difficult time making it okay to not do that. Now, here's what I propose to you. Depending on your lifestyle and kind of where you are in the grand scheme of things, my question to you is, and I'm really curious about, is have you lived according to a pretty strict schedule for much of your life? Are you now free from having to keep that schedule unless you just want to, but you don't have external factors like a printing press telling you have to have things done at a certain time? And if that's the case, do you find yourself still scheduling things and scheduling your life? Just kind of by accident. It just happens. So I'm just really curious about that. And then my next question is, if you don't do that, did you used to do it and you broke free of it? Or were you always just a free spirit? I know people, and I have friends, they have no difficulty not having a schedule. Some days they start things at 10, sometimes at noon, sometimes never. Sometimes they don't even take a shower. They just stay in their pajamas all day. I can't do that, and nor do I think I really want to. So that's the second piece of this for me. When I look at this, I go, okay, you feel like you can't break free from having some sort of a schedule. And so the second question of that is, do you want to break free, or do you enjoy having a schedule? Now, I want to be fair to myself. I'm not 100% rigid. I'm a lot freer than I used to be, but I am still pretty much at my desk at a certain time, and I pretty much stop working at a certain time. And I'm kind of like, it's a habit. It's a habit. And I'm deciding for myself, is this a good habit that I want to keep, or is this a habit that's really not serving me anymore, and maybe it's time to let go of it? So as I said, I don't really have a suggestion for you, because I think whether or not we live with a schedule or have a schedule kind of depends on who you are and what you're doing in life and how that impacts other people. Because obviously, if other people are depending on us to do something according to a schedule, then, we kind of better do that if we want to be kind and nice to other people. But I would love to hear from you in the comment section, or you can send me an email and just kind of tell me where you're at with schedules. And did you have them and now you don't? Do you still have them, or did you never have them? And I'm just curious, that's all. Because like you, I am growing older and wiser. And maybe this is a part of that for me. I'll talk to you next week.